Today we're continuing our look at the Windows 11 features, and up today it is the File Explorer. Now, we're all probably very used to File Explorer down here on the bottom menu, this yellow folder, but it has changed subtly with Windows 11. So in today's video, we're just going to take a look at some of those changes. On the top left-hand side, we've got the Quick Access menu. Now, Quick Access, if you're not familiar with it, actually shows you the most recent files and folders that you've been using. So it is really useful if you've, been working on a document, closed down the machine, opened it up the next day and gone, where was it that I was working? Quick Access will take you straight to that document, which is really nice. You'll see that across the top, we've got a refreshed look actually with all these different icons, very different to the previous version that we had in Windows 10 and other versions of Windows. But you can recognize some of these icons if I just click to get some of these highlighted. We've got cut, copy, paste, we've got rename, we've got share, we've got delete. And as you highlight over some of these, you'll get those little tooltips that tell you what they're for. You can also choose, you can change the different layouts that we've got here. And because this is a picture, it's also giving us some context-aware options that we can set this picture as the background or rotate it left or rotate it right. Everything else is pretty much straightforward to see, but again, those subtle changes can make it a bit more awkward in moving up from Windows 10. For instance, when we right-click on a file, we're given a context menu. Now, I'm very used to just quickly scanning down here for cut and copy, but those have moved. Those are actually now up here as icons for copy and cut and paste. In fact, if I just go into the actual folder where this is, here I've got a file with a picture in it. I right click and you can see cut, copy, rename, share. So remember, it's the same buttons that I've got up across the top, but I'm used to seeing them down here. So a little bit of a speed bump as I get used to the fact that, okay, cut, copy, and whatever is happening up here. I get those context menus, so I can open with the default application. I can open with a different application if I want. Most times I see that is when you've got a PDF file and you want to open it with Word so that you can make some edits. Again, I can set it as the desktop background, do some photo manipulation here. Most interestingly now, I can start to add things into a zip file. We could do this with Windows 10 as well. So if I select multiple files and right click, I can now compress those into a single zip file so that they're ready for sharing. Just call it photos. There we go. So now I've got a photo zip file with those folders in it. Interestingly, whilst I'm here, just makes you think about the navigation. I can press back to go back to where I was, or I can press up to go up an arrow inside the folder structure. You can see the folder structure is laid out here. I'm currently in this PC, pictures, photos. So when I go up, it's going to take me to pictures. If I'm in saved pictures and I go up, it's going to take me back into pictures. Now that is different than if I'm in pictures and then I go to downloads and I go back. If I go back, it's actually going to take me back to pictures. Do you see that difference? So if I'm inside a folder and I go up a level, I'm going up inside that folder structure. But if I flip between different folder structures and I want to quickly get back to where I was, I can just press the back key and I'm back into documents, or I'm back into downloads or pictures. So it takes me back, nice and easy. Anyway, the other thing that we can do here when I'm just looking at this right click menu is that this is now an abbreviated version. And you can see actually the icons are a lot bigger. The menu is a lot bigger, and that's to account for touch capable devices in Windows 11. We can also now go to show more options. Now, show more options might look very familiar because this is exactly what we had with Windows 10. This is the folder, the shortcut menu that I recognize. Here's copy and cut straight here, right at the bottom. This is what I'm expecting to see whenever I look for those cut and copy options. So if you're using Windows 11 and you right click and you just can't see the button that you used to see in that menu, show more options, and here's the traditional menu. Now, as more and more updates happen with Windows 11, I'm seeing that a lot of the things that were missing here are starting to get added in. So I can see this menu is starting to fill up over time with those more common features. As I say, the main speed bump for me is just getting used to this cut, copy, paste kind of idea being up here when I'm kind of used to it being down here. Whilst we're in Explorer, some of the things to know, again, you did this with Windows 10, but it might be useful for some people to know that you can obviously change the size of the icons if you want to have these slightly larger icons or smaller icons if that's your thing. very easily. We can change them to a list view, so they're all just down in one item. Details will give us the names of the files, the dates, the types, the sizes, any tags that have been applied. But one of the most useful options I find, if you've got in a list like this, if you go to Show and turn on the Preview pane, you now get this Preview pane on the right. As I click through any of these, I get a quick preview of any of those documents. So that's quite helpful as well. One of the other common things that's hidden away that sometimes you might want to turn on is the file extension. So again, View, Show, File Extension is here. And now we can see that these are JPEG files and zip files. And if we use the rename function, we can actually change the type of file as well as the name. Nice and easy. But if you want it tidy as it was before, we go to View, Show, and we can uncheck file name extensions. Similarly, if you've got any hidden files or folders, the View, Show, Hidden Items will also make sure that any hidden files and folders are also shown to you on the Explorer. I think everything else is pretty much the same inside Explorer. Just one more thing to mention is under your quick access here, you do get these suggested folders that are pinned in. And you can choose to pin or unpin these just by clicking this little pin icon. If there are folders that you regularly go into that you want to make sure stay in that list, all you would need to do is find a particular folder, give it a right click, and then choose Pin to Quick Access. And then every time you open Explorer, that folder is absolutely going to be there so that you can quickly get to this same location every time. You can also pin things to the Start menu. So if I right click a particular folder and choose Pin to Start, and then if I go ahead and hit the Windows button down here, here in my pin section of applications, you'll see there are two dots here. I can scroll this section down, and here you can see the folder that I've just pinned. And again, quick access straight into that folder. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you next time.